and grew up in El Paso. El Paso, for those of you that don't know, is in the glorious state of Texas, in the United States, and it's a border town. And a lot of this film, for me, has a lot to do with division and doubles and borders and all that. So for me, it was a very important decision, I guess, for you to put a film in a border town with someone who has quite a divided self through the film. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, first of all, El Paso is a city that I love. You know, a lot of people leave there and are happy to get out, and a lot of people drive through there and think that it's this very quiet, boring place, but it's quite the opposite. It's very deep and rich and full of culture, and a lot of strange things go on there, and it's the biggest drug port in the world. And you know, over in Juarez, Mexico, there's been over 800 women murdered, you know, since 1997 when they stopped the official count. And so, you know, it's a really interesting place to grow up, to say the least. But as you mentioned, a big part of it is, you know, the fact that it's no man's land. It's in Texas, but it's not Texas. It's not USA. Anyone will tell you that. And Juarez, Mexico, that is the sister city. That is the sister city there. It's not Mexico. Anyone from Mexico will go up there and tell you that it's not Mexico, and they have their own dialect. And so it's this no man's land. It's this place that has its own identity, but it's in between two identities, and it's constantly searching for an identity. So yes, it was really important in terms of a metaphor to shoot it there, but also, you know, because everything in the film has to be personal. You know, every location, every car, everything has to be personal. So the city was, you know, very personal to me.
Right. So you didn't have to go out and rent classic cars, rent classic cars from somewhere. Yeah, sorry about this. The cord. You know, I just ran over to, for those of you that didn't get to, the Cool Single Cube, Tenedo's Cube, which is a very amazing production designer's universe. You also, in addition to writing, directing, acting, producing, production design this film, which is pretty important. I mean, Barlem is surrounded by all of these sort of tokens and icons, and as are the other characters. So what was that? Was there a challenge in sort of that moment? I also know you're a big fan of German sort of expressionist films. So you know, for those of you that didn't catch some of the Fassbinder references that are there.
Yeah, you know, we Sonny and I and Lars and all of us who were there, and Kim, we painted the rooms, you know, so I would just go and choose the colors and what I wanted it to be like. And you know, it was my brother's house, the house there. Both of my brothers lived there, and their girlfriends lived there, and their 6 animals lived there. And I showed up a week before we were going to start rehearsals, and I said, I need to make this film. I don't have a house. You have to get out. And so they love me, and they understand that you know, where it's coming from, what I want to do, and they're mad at me for a while, and they don't speak to me for a while after that, but they get out, you know, and I pay for their for the truck to come, and, you know, we help them put their things in, and I give them money to put the first month's rent from the other place, and they get out, and then they get all their things out, and we bring in the new furniture, and Sonny and I drove around all of El Paso, going to places and buying all the pieces, and then we all painted the rooms. And then the model cars, you know, everyone had to make a model car. Everyone who was there living in the house had to make a model car. It was part of, you know, being in the film and part of the whole experience. So yeah, so it's, again, there's a lot of just personal items, you know, and things that are there from childhood. And I stole a lot of things from my parents' house, no? And my mom, she goes crazy. All the crosses are hers. She has this insane collection of crosses, you know. And this is only a small collection. Unfortunately, it burned down. Their house burned down. But you know, she, you know, I had to number every single cross, because she says if one cross is out of place, you know, you're going to hell. So I say, okay, of course. So we number each and every cross, and then after the production, we have to go put back each and every cross. And you know, I had to go find the double one for the one that we broke. His leg broke, and so, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll just share a very personal anecdote, really make you feel better. But I actually work with the director that made a film about Jeffrey Dahmer, and he shot it in his mother's house in the San Fernando Valley. And when the film finally was released, his mother leaned over and she realized that the film was about a serial killer, and all the victims had been killed in her kitchen. So, but she's still talking to her son. So, anyways, let's open this up for questions.